This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Erie, Colorado. I'm here with Red Rock Roofing. Since 2020, this award-winning platinum contractor provides timely and urgent roof replacements for residential and commercial properties, with insurance claim assistance from a company you can trust. I'm joined here with the owner, CEO, Steve. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You're formerly educated at Heritage College and Nashville State Tech in exercise and science, I believe. You are now a seasoned business entrepreneur who has created a winning structure, really by understanding what customers want. Great service and a great product. Share with me a little bit how this passion for serving the public and launching out on your own began.
Well, funny story, Gary. You're asking about how the inception of Red Rock came to be. So I was actually working at a law firm in tax law before this, and I was literally sitting on my, I go in an office every day, and it's one of them jobs, you get to the stairs and you just, man, I don't want to be here anymore. So I was praying on my bed one day, and God, all of a sudden my phone rings, and it's a buddy in the roofing industry, and I didn't know anything. I was probably least likely to be in construction in my family. And so I took the call, and I said, all right, I'm jumping in. I'll partner with you. He wanted me to be a partner, and that was Columbine Roofing, and that was 8 or 9 years ago. Well, the next day I quit my job, and I was doing pretty well. I started roofing, and the thing just took off. I got networking groups. I started just kind of networking. I had a lot of friends that wanted to come in and help me right away, just get started. And Columbine's best year before I started was 55 roofs. My first year I did 110, and we quickly became a platinum preferred contractor, one of the largest in the state. And after about 4 years, I had hired everybody kind of under me, working under Columbine, and one morning I decided to get up and say, Jeremy, thank you for the opportunity, but I think it's time for me to continue to grow. And so we left Columbine, everybody came with me, and we became Red Rock Roofing 3 years ago.
3 years ago, 2020, you rebranded. You got your own company now. It's a great story. We live in the beautiful state of Colorado where the sun shines hot, the rain, hail falls heavy. We're talking about heavy, wet snow coming soon. These are all the elements that our exteriors experience in a year. I mean, are all these the factors what we must consider when we're picking a product for our roof?
Yeah, Colorado, large hail state, heavy winds, fires even. I would say there's a lot of variables when it comes to picking a roof, but ensuring you have obviously good workmanship, good product. A lot of manufacturers now, I'd say 10, 15 years ago, roofing was kind of this, I don't want to say unknown, but kind of not a professional service, had a bad name. And I think as roofing has grown into more of a professional service, the suppliers and manufacturers have grown with them to ensure that all products for the most part are quality. For instance, the Marshall Fire just happened, good products for that would be like tile, slate, stone-coated steel, so different areas and for different purposes. I think materials can certainly be selected, but overall I think it's going to be preference of the customer and ensuring that the contractor you have can educate you properly, high wind zones, nailing patterns for high wind zones, things of that nature. So.
Interesting. I mean, the biggest investment most of us make in our lifetime is our house. I mean, the one thing that protects that asset is our roof. I mean, really, a roof is an investment in protection. I mean, it can be costly, so why is it important that we get it done right the first time?
Well, Gary, I kind of want to go back to the last point, too.
Yeah.
Is one of the most undersought things that really help increase the longevity of a roof, especially in Colorado. We have high sun exposure, and then we have cold. So we have a lot of, expansion, contraction, with cold and heat with the sun exposure. So ventilation, I think, is one of the most unlooked upon or talked about thing with an unexperienced roofing contractor. And that's why I love that we have no turnover here, is that all my guys have been with me a long time. I can trust them all to go out and talk about something that we're experienced about. So ventilation is key to ensure a good roof product, because the roof is a system. It's a living, breathing, air's moving through it, ideally, if you do it right. And so doing it right is absolutely important, and making sure you're not missing some of those key components. Some people think it's just shingles, but really it's many multiple layers underneath that really do offer the protection. Ice damming is a real thing out here, especially up in the mountains. So knowing city codes and requirements and things like that, it is not a statewide code here. Every single city you go to has its own municipality codes and requirements, so ensuring that you are up to date on those as well.
Like you say, your roof is more than a shingle. I've never heard anybody explain the ventilation process. That's pretty interesting. The first step for a consumer when they're choosing a roofing company really is trust. This is an industry that can be full of storm chasers, fly-by-nights, so-called professionals. Why go with a local and award-winning company like Red Rock?
You know, I think trust is one of the biggest things that we worked hard to overcome, and I did a few things different in the system than everybody else is what kind of got us to where we are. And a couple things that kind of dissolve the lack of trust that people might have as roofers. Yeah. The first thing we do is we don't do pictures of people's roofs. We actually do a digital video of every roof we inspect, so they get a link. So they don't think it's just pictures. You know, you could have a couple pictures of a few pieces of damage and they say, oh, it's everywhere. We get up there and it's not. So we do a digital video of every person's roof, send it to them. And then also, you know, as far as answering your question, why choose a local company? One, because we're in your backyard. I think it's appropriate. Two, we've worked hard to earn the name and the brand that we have, and we support all the local schools and communities and restaurants. I mean, personally, as a business, you'll see our signs everywhere around community because we do offer that support to people and things and events and things like that in town. So you're giving back for that reason. And just look at the name, look at the reviews. I mean, we're a platinum preferred contractor at Owens Corning. They consider that to be the top 1%.
Excellent. Good point. When most consumers have a problem with a roof, there's kind of a bit of panic that sets in. Not only the stress of who to choose to serve them, but even if their insurance will cover that expense, how can a Red Rock expert insurance specialist help them navigate through that process?
I always tell my customers, the hardest thing I want you doing through this process is picking a color. Really, our job, we want to show up. We first want to identify, do you have the necessary damage to file a claim? Yes, no, maybe, 50-50. We want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
50-50, we're not guaranteeing it. It's never 100% because adjusters are adjusters. But we want to we'll meet the adjuster on site, kind of go over that claims process. We have, once again, not having high turnover, I've got professionals in-house, including myself. All we do is look at insurance estimates all day. We understand them, we can navigate you through them, we can break them down for you, and then we don't take any money up front either. I meant to say that on the last part. That's another way to build trust. We want to make sure the job is complete and you're happy before we collect the dime.
Wow.
But yeah, then we actually handle the back end with people as well. So from the beginning of the insurance process to the time you collect that final check, we really don't want you involved at all. So, and that way we just handle it and take care of the whole thing, document everything, have people on site, take the pictures, submit everything to the insurance, and that way it's just really easy breezy because it can be a pain for some people. So
I can definitely see your system is quite unique.
We're very efficient.
When it comes into the roofing industry. I mean, obviously filing a claim can be overwhelming. It's frustrating when an adjuster comes out. I mean, they're trying to settle for really the least amount possible. Are you able to be there for the homeowner and so they can kind of help them get what they deserve?
Yeah, I mean, advocating for them is absolutely the right process.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times, yeah, we do want to make sure they get what they deserve, right?
Yeah.
We're there pointing things out, and most adjusters are pretty friendly about it. And, you know, hey, you missed, you know, a swing over here or something over there. Even though we just do the roofing and gutters, we're privy to all the other items that should be included into an insurance claim. If not, we can educate you on how to work with them for some of these other items. We have a strong group of network professionals that can come in and also, you know, help with some of these other trades that we don't do. So we're well networked within the community, yes, to help through that entire process so that they can once again just be a little more hands off.
You built that network up even before you rebranded. I mean, it was years of putting all those guys together. You can now turn out and trust. I mean, whether you want to fix a damaged roof or upgrade an old one, like you said, it all starts with a roof inspection. I mean, that video technology, that obviously enhanced the process. What is included in that report? I mean, they're getting links to the actual video and kind of a breakdown for them.
So you always find it's, you know, it's been so long since I've done one myself. I used to have the pitch down, but you know, we want to start from the street usually, and I like to start with my truck in their house so they know it's their house, and obviously you'll see your surroundings through the video. But we ultimately want to provide a detailed report showing anything that is damaged, that is good. You know, we don't just want to point out the bad. Oh, it looks good. You have a ridge vent across, that must be helping with you, but you don't have the intake. So anything that is ultimately good, bad, needs repaired, or out of code. And so we'll identify those things. Or if it is inoperationable, things like that. If you see like a pipe that's clogged or something like that. Anything that's out there, rodent infiltration, things like that. So anything that we see that might be of benefit or use to the homeowner to understand their roof system so they don't have to get on the ladder.
That is excellent. I mean, it's great because they have the video. They can actually see what they definitely can't see from the street. I mean, I see people, oh, it doesn't look like there's any damage. Yet
No.
This video gets up there. It shows them exactly so they can make an actual decision on what's necessary. With that comprehensive inspection comes communication. How important is explaining and taking time to answer the questions for your customer? Is communication really the cornerstone of your success?
Communication and education. I've always said we have entered into a buyer's education society. People used to be all about slamming deals, but now it's people want to know why you educate me. So we're very versed in educating our clients, spending the time with them, even through our sales process, and I like to call it an educating process up to the time of the contract of them choosing us. We have designed a very intricate PowerPoint that we get to go through with our clients that has no sales aspects to it, but mostly educational aspects. So they understand the materials, the process, the products of the roof, why they're important. And just like you, it guides them through a process where usually any questions that they'd want to answer would have been answered throughout that platform. So I think educating is absolutely important.
I've always said sales is nothing more than really educating your client, making sure they understand what they're getting. I mean, you're not only able to serve homeowners, but what about specializing commercial business owners? I mean, in Colorado, we see a lot of flat or low slope commercial roofs. Can your team help with any and all those as well?
We are a full-rounded roofing company. Roof and gutters is what we specialize in, but flat, commercial, coating, insulation, foam, spray foam, anything that's out there, we can do it. So
you speak quite a bit about your team, turnover on the team. Speaking of that team, I mean, that really is what sets you apart. Your handpicked selection of the people that you've chosen to surround yourself with, has that determined your continued success?
I like to think through the grace of God and good leadership, and not just from me, but from other folks throughout the office here. I've always found that good culture, the byproduct is, the focus is not the sales, and the byproduct is then culture following that. I always felt like you focus on the culture, and the byproduct will then be the sales and the customer experience. And so I have had a lot of really good people not only fall into my lap, but we have luckily hand-selected a few as well. I've always found treat them right, pay them good, and pay them on time, and they'll stick around. And so, yeah, we have no turnover, basically. They've all been with me for a very long time. And it gives for, they're excited about their service and the company they're working for, which then extends to their homeowners. And I think a lot of people see that, and I'm really grateful for that. My guys, they don't cuss. I look for not only their attitude within the workplace, but what are they doing on a personal level outside the workplace, because that's always going to bleed over. So all these guys are very driven in their own workplace with their families and things like that. So I'm really grateful to have the dynamic team that we have.
Excellent. Work hard, play hard. This is your professional family.
And lead from the front. Yeah, that's how I do it. Work hard, play hard.
Yep. Your company is only as impactful as the team that you have built around you. Does your family of professionals here all have that common passion of serving and giving back to the community?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I have my guys sometimes even tell you, which can only bring like so much love to your heart, where they say, we bleed red for this company. And so for that, I mean, it tells me that these guys are really engaged in what we do. And as far as the community goes, I mean, anytime we do a community-focused event, I mean, I don't get a lot of pushback on that. So
that's cool. It's cool to see your vision really extend out through everybody, and they become part of that vision as well. Steve, through each interaction with your clients, your company aims to establish a new industry standard by which to measure excellence. You take pride in knowing that everyone on the team has the customer's best interests at heart. Is this rewarding work for you compared to when you were sitting at a desk and didn't even want to show up to work?
Oh, man. I mean, some days, it's like you get in the middle of a storm like this, and it never stops. And so there's days, but me along with any guy I talk to, we all say, there's never a day I get up and don't want to get in my truck. I look forward to coming to work, even the challenges that it faces. I mean, that's the great thing is, like, no day is the same. There's new challenges every day. And so, I always told myself, I'm the kind of person that needs to be told what to do. I could never be an entrepreneur. And as soon as I was presented the opportunity, I never knew how good at delegation I was. No. But I had some wings that just weren't ready to go out, and once I was able to lift them up, I realized, what gifts God has given me to run a team like this and to provide opportunities like this and to watch how it's, I'm watching young guys who are 21 and 23 who have kids, getting to save up enough money to buy their own houses and do things that I never even thought possible or even thought of at their age. So we have got to take young men and grow them up as leaders, spiritually, professionally, personally. I've got to watch guys really grow here. So it's been awesome.
Definitely a blessing to the community. We're honored to introduce you in the best of the nation. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, you can learn more about the commercial and residential services they provide for you. Check out the great reviews right there online and see the awards they have won. You can also check out recent projects, certifications, and you can even design your own roof using the latest technology right there on the website. Set up for one of those free inspections today. Once again, that is Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.